So Jack, I just wanted to start by just checking about how things have been going in the last week and the things that we talked about with the diary.
Yeah, they've been pretty good. I've been trying to just find a part of my day and just write something down and then try and positive affirmations, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's been good. Watching a couple of YouTube videos, TEDx talks, those kind of things.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah,
so it sounds like you've been working pretty hard on it.
As much as I'm trying to, it's a little bit hard, but I'm trying, putting an effort in.
Okay. Yeah, it takes a lot of effort to make this change, right?
Yeah, no, it's definitely a conscious sort of battle, so it's good though.
Okay. Yeah. What sort of things have come up in your diary for you?
It's more like noticing signs when I feel anxious, or maybe keeping track of what in the past has been a trigger.
Okay.
Maybe I think like relationships and those kind of things
Right.
were big at one stage, and maybe I didn't know why they were.
Right.
Those kind of things. So
Okay.
I don't know, just always thinking.
Right, okay. So there's a lot of being caught up in your mind and thinking.
Yeah. Too much time alone's not good.
Okay.
So keep busy.
Okay. So that's kind of good to notice that that's one of your coping strategies, is avoiding thinking by keeping busy.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we want to talk about the relationship stuff, but before we do that, I just wanted to also check in with something that you mentioned last week about your diet.
Yeah.
So last week you started to talk about how some of the changes that you've made to your diet recently, and I was wondering if part of that was a way of trying to control your anxiety as well.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I know that diet and exercise are good, so I thought maybe controlling diet's probably a good way to go about it. I mean, it's been good, but I wouldn't say I'm too obsessive yet. It's good to like keep control over it.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of bad food out there that's not good for your health, so maybe that's also contributing to it. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess what we've talked about before is how that we all struggle with different emotions that we try and get rid of and control, and that we develop different ways of trying to do that. Okay, so control strategies. So some of the things you've talked about is like trying to keep busy, but also it sounds like diet and exercise has been a way, and like you said, diet and exercise is a really good thing, but when we use it as a way of trying to control or get rid of uncomfortable emotions, it can actually become part of our problem. Okay. So is it okay if we just explore that a little bit more?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you maybe just start by telling me a bit about what changes you've made to your diet?
Again, with those documentaries and stuff I was watching, just the whole processed food stuff's really not that great from what I can read. So I started going to more like whole foods and more pure type foods, fruit and veg, that kind of stuff. So trying to cut out refined sugar. Apparently that's really bad for like cognitive thinking and that kind of stuff. So just trying to be more wholesome with my food.
Okay. So what was it that led you to start making changes about your diet?
It was probably around the time I broke up with my last sort of partner. I was watching a couple of TEDx talks and those kind of like videos and stuff. And it was around that time that movie, That Sugar Film, came out. So the two kind of like married together a little bit, and I just kind of noticed all the positive things that came out of like changing diet and how many hidden calories and stuff are in everything. So I thought I'd make a bit of a positive change overall, and that kind of just it's probably started from there.
Okay, so it started to help you to feel better and take away the distress about the relationship?
Yeah, I guess you could probably say that. Just more that was a very undecisive time, and trying to maybe gain some control back is probably a good way to put it.
Okay.
Didn't really mean to do that, but I did notice the two kind of went together.
Okay, so it helped you to avoid that anxiety or whatever that was coming up for you.
Yeah.
And how's that been over time?
It's been good. I've got a bit of structure back in my life. Started exercising a bit more as well, in the general sort of post-relationship exercise thing everyone does. But it's been good with the amount of good food and stuff I'm having as well. So it's positive move for the better, I think. So, yeah.
Okay. And so I guess sometimes when we develop these ways of trying to control or get rid of our emotions, they can be really helpful in the short term. But sometimes the feelings come back and we need to do more of it, whether it's a positive or a negative behaviour. I'm just wondering what you've noticed about that in terms of your diet.
The more I sort of read about it and the more I learn, taking over a little bit, I guess. I try to see every packet and know what's in it, and it's becoming a little bit annoying. It's always in the back of my head, I wonder how much that has in it, what that doesn't have in it. But as long as I stick to like the good whole foods, it's usually okay. Going out to lunches and dinners and stuff's a bit of a challenge because my friends are booze heads and they don't really eat that great. But I mean, I got like a luncheon this weekend with Mum, and that's going to be a bit of a challenge because my family doesn't eat very well, and it's going to be, I'm the guy who eats all the healthy stuff, so it's going to be a bit of targeting, which is unfortunate, but that's okay.
So what happens for you then? What comes up?
It's a little bit like socially isolating, but I like to think that I'm still trying to stay healthy, so it's sort of weighing between the two of like, I don't know, sticking true to what I'm thinking and then trying to fit in with what they're doing, so it's conflicting. But
it sounds like a real balancing act.
It's irritating.
So if, say for argument's sake, you had to eat something that was processed or had more sugar in it than you liked, what do you imagine would happen?
I mean, 1 or 2 is not going to hurt me, but I'd like to cleanse a little bit afterwards. Maybe I usually just eat a lot of fruit and go to a sauna or have a big jog or a row or something like that, just try and feel better by exercising and having a really good day.
So the purpose of the cleansing is to make you feel better. What does it get rid of for you, like in terms of emotional discomfort? Or
it's more just the thought of I did something against what I wanted to do, so try to like overcompensate a little bit maybe.
So you notice that if you do eat something that's processed or got sugar in it, that you start to think more about this?
Yeah? I try to make up for the bad thing I did, but it's probably not too great that I do that, but I feel better by doing it.
Right. So again, it takes it away in the short term, that feeling that you've done something that's not good or not in control of your diet.
No, 100%. That's,
So sometimes when we kind of develop all these control strategies, it also affects like our ability to be able to, I guess, just continue in our normal things like socialising. I'm just wondering if there's times when you've chosen not to hang out with your friends or family because of this.
Yeah, that has been. Because I quit drinking probably like 12 months ago as well.
Right.
So many calories in beer and alcohol, and I don't really like going and drinking scotch with all the Coke and mixes and stuff like that. And no one likes drinking vodka lemon sodas, they're just terrible. So yeah, it's I don't really want to go out as well because of that. And then I know if I'll come home and I'll eat a pie or something like that, and then it just compounds it. And then I've avoided a few birthday parties and social interactions here and there, but I still try to go out in the daytime and say hi and stuff like that. But
so I imagine that helps in the short term again of trying to avoid this kind of discomfort of having to eat something that you don't want to eat.
Yeah.
But I'm also wondering about the cost to you in terms of friendships or social kind of engagement.
I mean, there might be some longer term ramifications from it. I don't know how many things I've missed out on because I've been avoiding people, but at the moment, it's just been sly comments here and there.
Right.
From friends, just being like, oh, here's the cleansing guy or whatever.
Right.
So I don't know, it's not too bad at the moment, but it might end up being a problem.
Right.
But,
So at the moment it feels like it's under control, but it feels like it could go that way too.
Yeah, they don't really feel like jumping on board with what I'm doing, so it's, again, socially isolating a little bit, but yeah.
So how does that affect your mood?
Well, I mean, it's isolating, so at the time when it happens, it's kind of feels like a little bit of a personal attack, but I know it's not that bad really. It's just food part of life. They're still friends with me for other reasons, so it's
So it sounds like you kind of talk yourself through that.
Yeah, you have to, again, with my diary and stuff like that, you just have to like be consciously aware of what is actually going on. It's a bit of a larger picture than just they're attacking me and they're not really, but it feels like they are for a brief moment in time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it plays on my mind here and there.
Yeah, like how much?
If I try to like plan what I'm doing for the week, like I do meal prep a lot, but I know I still have to see my friends, so I kind of think about that a lot when I decide my meals and things. And even when I have, I don't know, a coffee or something at uni with everyone, I have to make sure I don't get the sugar in it, or just have a cappuccino and milk. You know, it's little things just here and there consistently, which are...
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of kind of conscious managing of this.
Yeah, it's a bit fatiguing, to be honest, and there's a lot of stuff going on with the PhD and stuff as well. So.
And so how does that affect that?
Pretty tired as I'm concentrating. It's getting a bit fatiguing in general, and then overthinking the stuff as well, maybe also contributing to that. Yeah.
So sometimes this overthinking, and it sounds like you've got quite a few kind of things that you're worried about going on, can affect your sleep. How is that at the moment? I've always had pretty dodgy sleep. I go to bed quite late, and then I've always seem to get up early, which is just irritating. But I don't get too much sleep these days. Yeah. Right. So you said you've always had pretty dodgy sleep. Is that different now, though? Like in terms of, you said these days as well. So is it worse or the same as usual?
For about the last 5-6 years, it's been late to bed, early rise. So like 6 a.m. I get up usually. Okay. Which is nice because the sunrise is very peaceful. Yeah. Get to have your morning coffee and
during
relax.
the night, how are you sleeping?
Once I get to sleep, it's okay, but the getting to sleep is the lying awake and staring at the ceiling type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I can imagine that has an impact on your study during the day too.
Yeah, it probably all contributes, but that's all right.
A bit of a cycle?
Bit of a cycle I can't quite get out of.
Okay. Last week you also mentioned that you had lost a bit of weight over the last 12 months?
Yeah, just like 3 kilos, nothing too bad. I've always been sort of athletic and healthy looking. So I mean, within range, I think BMI is like 23, 24.
Okay. So what's your sense of why you've lost that weight?
Maybe that post-breakup sort of extra gym, run here and there, and then the calorie intake's been okay with the food stuff, so I've been keeping track of that, counting quite consistently. So it's not a calorie deficit or anything like that. It's just more, maybe just a few good choices here and there have led to a little bit of weight, which is nice. It's a good side effect to have. Yeah. So
something you mentioned just before was that sometimes if you do eat something that you prefer not to eat, then you might do a bit of a detox.
Yeah.
Okay. Something that other people will often use too is kind of a purging approach, particularly if they might have binged as well. And I'm just wondering if that's something you engage in at all.
No, I've always had good teeth and I want to keep it that way.
Good choice.
No, I hate the thought of vomiting, and I wouldn't want to bring myself to do that. It's just not what I think is good.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And you mentioned that you feel like your thoughts about your diet might be different to that of your friends and family. I'm just wondering how you've noticed that's changed over time.
Mum makes probably the most fun of me, but yeah, at first she was really supportive of it. Like, good, you're making good changes. That's nice. And then you kind of got to like, you're getting a bit over the top here, mate. So it's like, sorry, Mum, but the original thought was there be a good thing for me. So I think she still probably has that in the back of her head, but it's quite irritating when she tells me that. Especially she's just in remission for cancer right now, so she's kind of, again, should understand that a bit more, but she's been through a lot as well. So I don't know if that extra stress is just her taking it out on me, but it shouldn't be. So yeah.
So there's a whole kind of range of how we look at different things, and sometimes people might have made comments about like that people's beliefs are a bit unusual or even bizarre, and I'm just wondering if anyone has kind of made comments to you about your diet like that.
I have a lot of tradie friends, and they're very
Right.
blokey, so yeah, beers and meat pies and
Right.
football and chicken wings tonight, so they're quite big. So I miss out on those, which you kind of lose those bonding things. But
Sure.
I mean, they'll make a comment here or there
Right.
about that. But I sit in the corner with my, I don't know, veggie and dip or something like that. Same thing. The wife loves to bring out the platters, and I usually just eat the carrot and celery. But yeah, they have the rest of the chicken wings. I don't know. It's one of those things.
Okay, and sometimes if we feel like we're kind of not fitting in certain ways, we might think that people are judging us or watching us in some way, or that we're developing kind of some special ability of being able to manage something. I'm just wondering if that's come up for you at all.
So I'm not quite sure what you mean.
So I guess sometimes we might think that people are like watching us or judging us, or...
No, I don't feel like anyone's particularly looking at me all the time or critiquing me, but they wouldn't really... I'm insignificant to most people, I feel like, so it's not really... Yeah. I'm not worrying about that at all. Yeah.
So you mentioned that your mood can be affected by this, like feeling a bit isolated from your friends and controlling your diet.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I guess we struggle with low mood, there might be thoughts of self-harm or suicidal ideation.
No, I've never gotten that bad. I don't think I probably would. There's too many other people's lives at stake if I do something to harm myself. So this is supposed to be positive thing, controlling diet and stuff. So I don't think I would ever see that as an option. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you feel about us just kind of keeping this on the agenda and just looking at it again next session in terms of how it's affecting your life? And at the moment it sounds like it's kind of on the edge of being a positive thing and something that can lead to kind of isolation or become, I guess increase your symptoms of anxiety, that sort of thing. Is it okay if we just keep watching that?
From the discussion today, I think that's probably a good idea, yeah.
Okay.
I could definitely see where it could tangent into something a bit worse, so yeah, I would be happy to do that.
Okay,
definitely.
sure. Cool. Okay, well let's leave it for next session.
Okay.
Great.